2024 is turning out to be a phenomenal year. Not a good year, a phenomenal year for collecting coins. Our core hobby, right? And with the Morgan and Peace out there that's flowing like crazy, it's nothing but fun. But it does mean we get to pause and take a look, because right now, with the rise in the price by the U.S. Mint, we can acquire many of the 140-year-old original Morgans for less money than the brand new ones from the U.S. Mint. How about that? Tonight, 3 choices. Look at this one. And they're early choices. We're talking about year 2, year 3, and year 4. These are Philadelphia's own, which is the main mint on the East Coast at that time. And again, take a small step back to scope this. First of all, the Morgan dollar is the largest silver dollar ever struck for circulation in America. For most of the early parts of the 1800s, we didn't make the silver dollar because we didn't have the silver. Remember the stories of George Washington's melting his silverware and all that fun stuff? True. Then we have this find. We had the gold rush in 1849, and a little bit thereafter, we had the silver rush of the Comstock Lode, the largest silver find in America, period. Upper northwest part of the country. That spurred the silver interests to say, hey, we got enough silver, so let's start making the big coin again. They petitioned the U.S. Mint. The U.S. Mint says, let's do it. The Bland-Allison Act is passed. We've evolved to signing George T. Morgan to be the designer, and ergo the name, the Morgan dollar, is after his name. We start striking them in 1878. We make coins for 27 consecutive years until 1904. Then it's brought back one more year after World War I in 1921. Philadelphia is one of 2 mints that struck the coins every year. San Francisco is the other. But as I said, the real test of the marketplace is the excitement of the brand new 2024s. We have them, ask our operators, but they're more money than the real coins that survived the melts over the last 140 years. Think about that. I mean, the coins from 2021 with 175,000 struck are all over 200. The brand new ones from the U.S. Mint raising their price to $90-odd a coin. And we're going back to the originals, where the whole idea came from. Tonight, our price, just $69.95. Now, there's information flow that's so helpful in all of these coins. And these early ones, because again, it was a brand new silver dollar, coins are being struck, and we're grabbing onto them. We're using them. Some of the later years, they were putting them in bank vaults. How do we know that? Well, in 1918, we had something that passed called the Pittman Act. The U.S. government was supporting England in the silver shortage they had in India, which all comes down to the redemption of silver certificates, but they can't use Morgan dollars. So the U.S. has to melt 60% of all the Morgan dollars to make that opportunity, the Bland-Allison Act, and the lending of silver to the English work. It was just indiscriminate. We don't know what coins they melted. Other than, well, in this case, we know some of the earlier ones were heavily used, they weren't, and the numbers prove it out. If you look at the mintages, how many coins they made in each of these 3 years, and then how many are known to exist according to the independent certification services, NGC, PCGS, ANAX, ICG, it is wow how special these early coins are. Let's go over the mintage figures first on these 3. 14.8 million, 12.6 million, right? 9.1 million. So in the mintage figures, the 81's the coin, right? The lowest one by a few. But now if you look at NGC, PCGS, the big 4 as I just referenced, 40 years of doing what they do, and they publish for us what they see, all grades. It's a wonderful free service. It explains why I can't find things. It explains why you can't find things when we're visiting shows in our local areas or traveling because we love the Great American Coin Hunt. We're at 35,700, 38,500, 32,900. Now the brand new coin, the 2024 Morgan and Peace, the Philadelphia issue, that was on the market right now. If you haven't bought them, please jump in. 275,000 are being made. Like last year at the same number, it's sold out. This is going to sell out. A lot of popularity. The question mark is the raising of the price by the U.S. Mint to over $90. You can buy the originals with us tonight for only $69.95. And on top of it, unlike many of our competitors, you don't have to buy all three. You just want to own one of them. The 1879, the 1880, or the 1881, that's your choice. You want to buy two of one of the other two? That is your choice. But at $69.95, how about the value on these vintage, original, 1-ounce silvers that circulated 140 years ago? But if you look at the storylines, it also helps quantify some of the story. When you think about what was happening at that time in history, because again, my short history compared to the world's history, right? I remember faxes, I remember Polaroids, I remember cameras, I remember beepers, right? I remember the first cell phones. Now I remember the first computers. Now I remember cell phones that have more power than my original computers, to where now graphics and AI are kind of scary, and wow, how fast are they advancing? Back then, this is what was going on. Paper money is valued the same as gold. That's 1879. Milk is put into glass bottles for the first time. And I remember that when I was a kid in the 60s and early 70s. It was still that way. Think about that. Gilmore Gardens becomes, after the Vanderbilt gift, Madison Square Gardens. The first light bulb, 1880. The first street lights, thanks to Edison. Do you remember where it came from? Yeah, Wabash, Indiana was the first city. Electric railway was first introduced. Edison was having a crazy year. The U.S. Census in 1880 was 50 million people. Now we're 500 million, right? First cash register. We had 3 presidents in 1881. Hayes, then Garfield. Garfield's assassinated, and then Arthur, right? The American Red Cross. Billy the Kid is shot. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm blabbering on fun stuff, but our time is almost up because we're almost out of coins. Let's put a 30-second clock up, please. The competition is at 215, 165, 189. North of 150, and 150 is more than double our price. You can buy all 3 from us for what our competition's selling the 1879. It is a crazy opportunity. And again, as I referenced earlier, the 2024 Morgans from Philadelphia cost way more than this. And is there any question in anybody's mind which ones are rarer? No questions asked. These are. Population reports support it. It's just a great opportunity. Get the originals, 140-year-old Morgans tonight. Your choice, $69.95 here on AVC.